For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. On infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections.
If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who want it until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious.
Violence and vandalism is being led by Antifa and other radical left-wing groups who are terrorizing the innocent, destroying jobs, hurting businesses, and burning down buildings. They are coming after me because I am fighting for you. That's what's happening.
Greetings, fellow thought criminals, and thank you for joining the insurrection. I'm Michael Lauber, and today I'm joined by two experts that we're going to dive deep into what's going on in Iran with this morning. Ryan Morrow and Annie Cyrus. How are you both doing this morning? And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to get into and a lot that's happened really since last Sunday when things kicked off over there. We've got other stories we're going to get to if we have time, because, of course, we've got even more some fraud out of Somalians exploding across Ohio, Maine, and other states now, and even links back to people within their government and even the UN, of course. But if we could, Ryan, if you could quick give them a rundown on who you are, and then we'll get to you, Annie. Oops, sure. Wrong button.
I am Ryan Morrow. I'm the director of the Morrow Institute, which is like my nonprofit entity. And I've basically been doing counter-extremism, international security research and analysis for 20 plus years, working for a whole bunch of different places, most of which you've heard of, and also doing a lot of research, providing intelligence to the authorities about different types of ideologically extreme, primarily violent criminals, but criminals of all kinds over the years. So this has been kind of what I do 24/7, although I'm not an Iranian though. So
yeah, well, Ryan, you've really done some great work, and not just regarding what's going on in Iran right now, but you're recently kind of highlighting, if we have time, we're going to get to the Turtle Island Intifada, because that's something I don't think enough people are really educated on. And most people are going to remember you from breaking the story about the $80 million that Soros and his entities were funneling to various terrorist organizations here and around the world. And then Annie, could give your quick elevator pitch real quick, and then we're going to jump right into this.
Elevator pitch. Born and raised in Islamic Republic of Iran in 1983, left Iran at age 15 as a child bride, went to Turkey, stayed there for 3 years, respectfully through proper channels, made my way to America at 18, been here for 24 years. Yes, I am 42 years old. Was that enough?
Yeah, that pretty much gets to it. And then I guess I'm going to pull up a video that you sent over here first. Then we're going to kind of dive into some tweets and other information from both of you and a few headlines. But you could give the audience the rundown on what we're seeing here.
Okay, what you're looking at is one of many videos I have sorted through, and I have confirmed that Iranians at this point are on the streets, not just uprising, revolution, protesting, but for first time, you see them right on the walls of Iran. Javid Shah in English, long live the king, being King Pahlavi. Why is this so important? It is the first time, I repeat, it's the first time that Iranian people inside Iran are writing down and vocalizing their choice. They are calling for return of son of the late king of Iran that was toppled in 1979. The reason that's too important to miss Is there a campaign for Prince Pahlavi? Absolutely. That's how politics works. However, after 47 years, this is the first time Iranians have come to agree that they will pick their own leader, and that leader is the son of Pahlavi dynasty, king of Iran. And that, ladies and gentlemen, shows me and you that this uprising that has turned into a full revolution as of yesterday morning is finally organized and backed by a real leader rather than the last 7 since 2002 until today that was just people frustrated on the streets, no organization, just getting it out of their system.
Yeah.
So this one is different.
Now, I understand Pahlavi's already put up a 100-point plan on what needs to happen there. Is that correct?
Yes. So Pahlavi, Reza Pahlavi, and his entire group, campaign, people, members, cabinet, whatever you want to call them, back in 23, they released it. Back in 22, they started it. 22 was when Mahsa Amini was killed in Iran by morality police for showing a little bit of her hijab. When that broke out, when that uprising started, Reza Pahlavi started on the 100-point. The 2023 was released. During the 12 Days War, it was completed, finalized, and came out. So he does have a 100-day plan after the collapse of Islamic regime in Iran. And I want to be very clear. I'm going to try to stay calm during this program. I'm going to stay unbiased. No, I'm lying. There's no being unbiased. Reza Pahlavi in no shape or form has said or has the idea to come back as a king or a monarch. He has been very clear that he's willing to be the transitional head of government to keep the country stabilized during this transition and allow the people to pick one, do they want monarchy or do they want republic? And either way, who's going to be the leader? So for all the campaigns out there saying he's coming back for monarch and he wants his throne back, he's not. And that is included in his publication of the 100-day. There is no name of him even being a permanent leader or being a king or any of that.
And Ryan, I want to see what your thoughts were on this, and then we're going to jump right into some tweets that you put out over the last few days.
Sure. So one of the interesting things that I saw some Iranians saying was that chanting in support of Pahlavi doesn't necessarily mean that they're like endorsing him as the next elected leader, and that Americans are missing that. That you can be pro someone, but you're not actually saying, saying, oh, you're like almost like a cultish follower of somebody, like is
yeah.
And a lot of Americans, I think, misinterpret that nuance. Because now supporting him as the opposition head is just a very powerful way of expressing solidarity with him, but more importantly, it's a rejection of the regime. And then over time, if they decide that there's someone who's better suited or there's a better political party, that's a conversation that can happen later. But you have to have these unifying slogans, and this is one that is caught on, and it makes sense because you have to have a face, you've got to have a person. And he's doing a good job of it. And I'm surprised because I remember during the Green Revolution days, and that's when they had millions of people in the street, which frankly doesn't appear to be the case yet. I don't know how much that actually, there's an argument that actually doesn't matter as much as people think in terms of having millions of people in one spot. But I remember him and his supporters were like making the case for him. And it didn't seem to quite gain the traction that I've seen since about 2015, 2016. So something has changed in his favor very dramatically. I also remember, and I think this was before the Green Revolution, actually, it was the grandson of the original Ayatollah Khomeini actually formed some type of partnership with him, which I would assume would give him religious credentials, which I think was one of the key arguments there, was that there are still relatively conservative religious people inside of Iran, or people that are minimally, like they would still want to identify as Muslims, not an Islamic Republic, but that they need an appeal from someone who is not exclusively secular in their approach, and in their appearance. And so if he's able to build partnerships with people like that, people who proudly say, "Oh, well, I come from the lineage of Khomeini," then that shows some pretty adept diplomatic skills and a broadening, I think, of the ideological base of the opposition. That for me, I mean, I've been at opposition events, and like the dysfunction and infighting was crazy.
Yeah, and that's true with a lot of movements around the world. Is part of why they're ineffective is because they can't all get together on one page. They have too many people pulling them in too many different directions, constant infighting, and it's almost like the tribal warfare we see in some countries. But there's no real reason for them to be separate entities, but they can't seem to get it together and work in a unified way where they could actually win the conflict, save their country, or accomplish whatever their goal might happen to be. I want to give you a chance to respond real quick, Annie, and then I'm going to jump into this first story.
Sure. I pretty much agree with everything. And now a few distinctions here. The slogan, one of the slogans is "Long live the king" on the walls, or the chant. But the main chant that's going on, Lord help me, how do I translate this one? It's "Sob as much as you need, Khomeini, the supreme leader. Pahlavi is coming back." Most analysis are going through that. And by the way, I should mention, just like 2022, about a good 60% of protesters out there are Gen Z. So my personal translation from talking to some of them, they have come to, some of them do say that we're gonna right the wrong our parents did. 79. We have some of the 79 people officially coming out and apologizing for the mistake they made. The gaps and the issues during Pahlavi was fixable. They didn't have to overthrow or carry on the revolution. That being said, the new generation reasons. Number one, during the Green Movement, the complaint, the uprising had nothing to do with the regime and everything to do with, everybody ready, election fraud. People weren't out there to topple the regime. They were literally, the slogan of Green Movement was, "Where is my vote?" Because they voted for Mousavi, who was supposedly this reformer, and Ahmadinejad ended up winning. So the concept didn't apply to where Pahlavi could come out and say, yeah, he couldn't say vote for me because he wasn't even in the formula. From there on and on until 2022 was the first time that people came on the streets to topple the regime. It was the first official, at least, uprising of let's get rid of the regime. The chants of death to dictator, death to Khamenei started being the loudest voice of 22. That's when Reza Pahlavi got the chance to say, oh, wait, okay, so you ready for a change of regime? I'm here. Hi, anybody. And he came in strong. He came in with a plan. He came in with a team put together. And the most important, doesn't matter how many generation goes on, our queen, who's still alive, the wife of the late king, she has made an impact even outside of Iran while exiled, that we all still call her the Mother Queen. Nobody refers to her except that name as Iranians. So when she came out behind her son in 22 and said, we are here when you're ready, that was when Pahlavi became official candidate. Right after that, you have Israel directly endorsing him. Yeah. After that, during the 12 Days War, all the majority players, except our leader, that is President Trump, endorsed him. They sat down and they reviewed his 100-day plan. They shook his hand and they said, we're with you. That's how Pahlavi was able to, and this time, actually, as you said, Ryan, funny enough, this time he made sure he's making no deals or shaking no hands of any mullahs or anyone tied to the regime. He learned that lesson after that mistake with grandson of Ayatollah Khomeini. That was a bad image for him. Because though a lot of Iranians, well, I wouldn't say, as of right now, about 35% of Iranians are still practicing Muslim. Even though the image is, well, it's good to have a secular Muslim, they don't want any mullahs involved. They don't. Yep. Like today, when the daughter and granddaughter of the exiled imam in Iran were arrested, Iranian didn't care. They called it a charade. They said, you send your daughter and granddaughter to fool us. That's the level of distrust with mullahs. So this time, Pahlavi made sure he's only shaking hands with trusted people when it comes to Iranians. No mullahs involved. No talk of mosques staying open or closing down. He doesn't even start his speeches any longer with the Farsi saying of "in the name of Allah." He doesn't even do that.
Oh wow.
He now says "in the name of God." Now, I can't confirm nor deny this, but I have heard from many people after his daughter's marriage to the American Jew man, which was about a few weeks before the 12 Days War. I have heard rumors of convert. I have heard rumors of slowing down on Islamic faith. I don't have confirmation for that, but we do know his daughter is married to an American Jewish businessman in America.
Converting to what? Do you have any idea what the rumor is?
I've been told that the wife and the husband, being Reza Pahlavi and his wife, who will be, if this goes as a monarch, will be the future queen of Iran, have been baptized. Again, I can't confirm nor deny, but I have heard from some sources close to his office that they have been baptized. And that's why his speech starts with "in the name of God" or "in the name of Almighty God." No more Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim being "in the name of Allah." He doesn't do that no more. But again, those are all the, those are the spices we can add to the food later after. But the reason he's gaining so much momentum and the reason Gen Z is calling for his return is Gen Z is done with all of that Sharia involved. They don't want to see mullahs. As we were starting the show, I just put out a report yesterday, last night, our time. They burned down one of the central police departments in one of the provinces. As we were speaking, I confirmed a video that they just burned one of the major Islamic seminaries in Baluchistan. Buildings on fire.
Oh, really? Wow.
They're targeting Islamic centers. And that's the thing. I know a lot of Western headlines. You look at the headlines, because I do, and I'm like, stop. They're like, this is because of economic pressure. People can't afford food.
Yeah, right, yeah.
No. Yeah, I
This
saw somebody
is
else blame it
people
on the water shortage.
I know. I'm like, really?
CNN. Yeah.
But it did start, yes, on Saturday evening around 11:20 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. Would have made it about 8 a.m. Tehran time Sunday. Time zone differences.
Yeah.
The people on one street. Now, I should say this for anyone who might get confused. In Iran, it's not like here. You don't walk into an outlet only. There are areas in every province, capital of each province, that there's one street that is assigned to a specific industry. You have the gold street. You have the dollar street. You have the cell phone street. You have the whatever, computer street. The cell phone street, people showed up to their store, stood in front of their store, didn't open up. It turned into one street of industry of cell phones as a strike. Why? Because they showed up and said, this morning, dollar has gone up to 124,000 2 months. People will not be showing up to buy iPhones that are 2.7 million 2 months. So what's the point of opening my store?
Yeah.
It has started there, yes. But within 3 days, the chance had nothing to do with dollar is too high, gold is too high, gold coin is too high. By the way, as we speak right now, if you try to buy one gold coin, which is the size of our 5 cent, that's the size
nickel.
of it, the thickness, nickel, thickness, size, all of that. It's a 24 karat gold. If you try to purchase one, just one full, it's 167 million 2 months. This is a country that produces 24 karat gold on its own.
There's no faith left in the currency or the government. Well, yeah, and I've seen a lot of really inspiring videos, both from you and from others, coming out from there. Like one of the best ones I saw was a bunch of women out of their hijabs throwing rocks at a building, and the caption in English said, "This is one of the secret police, religious police buildings," and there were a few people locked in there scared, but even the normal police weren't responding to bail them out. So it was a group of probably 100, 150, primarily women. There were some men there too, but none of them were in their hijabs, and every window on the building's broken. And even the regular police are not responding to do anything about it. So
those buildings are called besiege. We have that word in English, besiege.
Yeah.
And they were originally they got targeted but then people moved away from besieged buildings into police center, central police departments. That is where IRGC and morality police are located, and also the religious centers. Yesterday we had another building on fire, which was the head of a religious court in one of the provinces. They moved on from besiege to, and that's what, by the way, is Ryan addressing something you said. You're correct. Right now, it doesn't matter that millions are not on the streets. Reason. First of all, as I said, this is coordinated. So what they have done, the organizers have split people. If you watch like I do, like a maniac 24/7 on TV, you notice that around 6:30 in the morning, a wave comes in. Around probably 2 o'clock, they go next wave. They're maintaining energy and momentum. So instead of everybody out, they're rotating shifts. They have the overnight people who are out. They go home. The morning people come out. So they have broken the population into, we don't have to be out there like we did with Massa Amini. I understand the frustration, the exhaustion. They were too angry not to just march the streets. But they were worn out by day 5 or 6, and bullets were flying at them. They couldn't defend themselves anymore. So this time around, they have learned that this is going to be a longer period of time, but we're going to maintain momentum by breaking down numbers where we can spot. First of all, they want to make sure they can spot the plainclothes of IRGC members in the crowd, because we have them. They show up, they go next to you, they're filming you, and then they use your face to come pick you up. That's the method. So they're keeping it as small crowds to identify outsiders. Secondly, they're maintaining reporting. So basically, let's say 100, I'm making numbers up, 100 people come out on the streets of whatever, Shush in Tehran. They rotate every 4 or 5 hours. As they got to the next destination, the next crowd comes back and marches back that area. So they're kind of playing that. That's why you see much smaller numbers. And also this way, there will be less killed. They know when there's a bigger crowd, there are more who are going to get hit and killed. It's sad. We have had 6 people killed already. Day 6, 6 people killed, 26 people injured. Out of those 27, based on reports, 4 of them injured by, basically they were blinded by rubber bullet. They shot right into their eyes. It is tragic, but if you look back at 2022, by day 6, we had almost 137 dead.
Yeah.
So these are the little changes that are happening. The smaller groups, the smaller numbers, yes, but they have minimized the number of arrests. It's a lot easier to run when the crowd is smaller. That's another thing. They have tried. I've seen so many videos of trying to arrest, but people ran. They disappeared. There wasn't too much crowd to try to fight to get out of. So these are the reasons you see smaller groups. If things go where they're going, based on the reports I'm reading from the Pahlavi office, from the Iranian people putting out call to actions, by end of next week is when you're going to see crowds getting bigger, when they have taken control of certain locations they have put out that needs to be taken over before big numbers come out.
Yeah, that was the same strategy used in Egypt. I remember, and there were a lot of open source intelligence guides put out based on that. Against, I mean, it was first Mubarak, but then it was also against Muslim Brotherhood, and that was like considered very innovative. Was doing the separation tactics, a lot of deception tactics, and basically just watching and overstressing the security forces by just making them go around in circles. And so even though eventually there were big crowds, that was kind of it almost like naturally manifested itself, because by that point you had worn down the security forces to the point that you could do that type of thing. And then also at that point you had parts of the security forces defect. Now with the reports that Trump and Netanyahu are actually talking about a bombing campaign, which I kind of always suspected that this talk about bombing Iran's missile program, which is a good thing to do, it makes sense. The urgency, I didn't indicated to me there was a little something more going on there. And it would make sense, I think, if I was an Iranian protester, to avoid having that big conflation in one spot near some of the sites that you would want to protest and take over, because they might just get bombed anyway. I would wait to see what happens and do exactly what Andy's talking about for a while and prepare the ground for that.
Well, here's the thing: the people of Iran, or I should say, the leaders who are leading this new revolution movement or continue of the other ones, what they're targeting as taken over has nothing to do with the government at all. Amazingly, they're working toward, let's say, certain mosques that are known to be the hiding place for morality police officers, and their equipment being the key word here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are not even thinking of Jamaran or Supreme Court. None of that is on the play right now. They don't care for those either, because they're relying on Israel to do actually come in. And I want to say something very clear. I know we haven't gotten to that point yet, but I want to be very clear. Right now, Iranian people have asked for no one's help except Israel. That is it. They have not requested help from Europe, from Canada, from America, from Turkey, from Egypt, from no one. They have directly asked for Israel's help when the time is right. That has literally been verbalized. When the time is right, they're hoping Israel will come in and do what they needed to do before, during the 12 days war. But that's in the past. I was told not to dwell in the past. Anyhow, so that's it. They got this on their control. They have a plan. They have a leader who's feeding them the next step of the plan. And I know a lot of people were upset when Israeli outlets said something like, people say on the streets, we are next to you. They're like, you shouldn't give it away. And yes, the regime turned that into, these are all infiltration of Mossad agents, whatever.
That wasn't an official Mossad account, though, either, was it?
No, it wasn't. And I'll tell you what, even if it was, that is a great information to put out, because we all know the regime of Iran is terrified of Mossad agents physically in front of them. Anybody who doesn't know history, the regime they are most terrified of actual Mossad agents, not helpers, trained agents inside Iran. Nothing terrifies them more than that. Nothing. Not even ISIS soldiers scare them like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it is good to put that in their heart. It is great. Let them come out and say, I told you, people of Iran love us, and this is the Zionist regime. Who cares?
But the concern is that if it's not fulfilled, if the expectation is there, and then let's just say the regime massacres everybody, and then this gets delayed a little while. I mean, eventually the regime falls, but let's just say they're able to, extend their life. I would hate to. I feel like there's unforeseen negative consequences if the impression is that, oh, the Israelis, Americans, whoever else were there and indicated, hey, we'll come help you, and then nothing happens.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. If for their sake, not the Mossad agents, they got their own back. For people's sake, I need to be careful how much I talk, and I'm a talker, so sometimes I just blurb it right out. But I can tell you this: go back and look at some of the videos, especially you, Ryan. You catch them. Well, look at some of the videos. Look at some of the methods that are being used. I think the promise has already been delivered.
No, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I know what. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into. Well, actually, go ahead, Annie. If you want to finish, go for it.
We'll put it that way. Precision and coincidental timing will tell you a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a good way to leave it too, without saying too much. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into your tweet here, because this is the other thing that, now all of a sudden Americans are starting to discuss because of this tweet going out and story finally hitting. Iranian regime is going to fall. This is the type of statement, or this type of statement, excuse me, is out of character for Trump. It's not reflexive. It's not his reflexive response. Sorry, guys, it's like micro print on my screen. This means something compelled Trump to want to do it and gave him the confidence that there'd be a positive result. And sorry, I grabbed the wrong shot of this. I don't have the rest of your statements below that. But you could expound on this for us, Ryan.
Yeah, so I pay close attention to patterns in language and behavior because I find it to be a very good indicator of what's going to happen in the future. And you can tell when Trump is using words that are not his natural vocabulary.
Yes.
And also when they contradict his past mantra that he takes particular pride in, then something powerful is happening. So like if you ask Trump a question, what's one of his main pillars of pride that he identifies with? It's I end wars. I'm not a neocon. I'm not going around building democracy. The most you'll get to him was like an exception with bombing Iran's nuclear sites. But he explicitly said during the first term, I am not in favor of regime change. Like that, like explicitly.
Yes.
So, which was the previous administrations, even Obama wouldn't go that far. They would just say, we're not actively doing anything, but like Trump was more that. So something happened since the 12-day war that made him radically change, because he's not the type of guy to go off of his pattern and find some nuance to justify and say, well, that's consistent with what I said before. Like, that's not his style. So there's some information and probably a plan that convinced them that it was important to act like, frankly, a neocon, to use the word, even though I feel like that term means nothing now. But like the Tucker Carlson would call it the most neocon thing ever. And so something's going on that convinced them that's the right thing to do morally, strategically, good for him politically, and very likely to succeed. I suspect based on the 12-day war, if you look at what happened there, he was behind Israel doing it, but the decision was the Israelis offered the U.S. could be involved in the beginning, and his answer was, if you want to do it, let's see how it goes. If it goes well, maybe. And it went well. We came in at the end. We did the right thing. Kind of took credit for everything that happened. And I feel like that we might be seeing a repeat of that where he's like, oh my God, the Israelis might kick the crap out of the Iranian regime. I would like to get a punch in. That would be cool. I mean, that's the behavioral pattern we've seen.
Well, yeah, and I think it was a big mistake. He got in the way and didn't let him finish the job the first time. Sorry, Annie, go ahead. I know you're chomping at the bit over there.
Yes. Okay. Okay. As early as I might get days wrong because it's been like, I think it was Monday that Netanyahu was in Florida meeting with Trump separately with Pete Hegseth. Might have been Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, one of those days. Anyways, when they were done, Trump and Bibi came out, do the usual charade of, there are cameras, let's talk. Trump again repeated that we are not discussing regime change at all. All we're talking about here is if Iran continues with process of building their ballistic missiles. Now, narrative has shifted there already. They have gone from nuclear to ballistic missile now on that day. We will give green light to Israel to attack. That was as early as Monday or Tuesday. Now, let me tell you why things have shifted since Monday or Tuesday. Number one, you're very correct, Ryan. I do strongly believe Netanyahu pretty much wrapped up that meeting and said, listen, we love you. You're awesome. You're the best thing in the history ever, whatever you talk about. But I'm going home and I'm going to finish these people. Yeah. You're either with me or you're not. Number two, because here's the thing. I'm going to take this back to Pahlavi again for a minute. Reza Pahlavi is as strong as his grandfather, not his father. Many may not know history, so let me break it down. His grandfather is the man who pulled off the coup d'etat to overthrow the Qajar dynasty in Iran. He was just a general in Qajar dynasty's military. And he put together a coup d'etat to overthrow the entire dynasty. And he did, by the way, this was around the time of Ataturk in Turkey. So he didn't want to be a monarch at all. He wanted to turn Iran into a republic like Ataturk did in Turkey after Ataturk, overthrew the Ottoman Empire, Muslim caliphate. So that is the man that we compared to the grandson. The father was okay. He was a great man, but he didn't have the backbone of his father, which is normal. Generationally, we're always like that, right? You have the grandfather who's tough. The father is a little less tough, and then the son becomes even more tough. This man, Reza Pahlavi, reached out to Trump publicly privately, openly, closely, up there, down here, text message, phone call, letter, everything. And to this day, you have 28 leaders shaking hands with Pahlavi since January until today. Some leaders that are not even presidents or prime ministers, but none with Trump. Trump chose his advisors, for whatever reasons that I can guess, told him to ignore his existence until Wednesday, when these leaders came out posting their handshake pictures with Pahlavi, saying that we are with the people of Iran and we look forward for the return of Crown Prince Pahlavi. Pahlavi replied to every single one. I have one of them right in front of me towards Nigel Farage. Pahlavi office responded to Nigel Farage saying, "We are grateful for your continued support of the Iranian people and their freedom. When they succeed in their struggle, Iran and the UK will once again be partners in peace and prosperity." How's that for a shift of quick language for Trump?
Yeah.
There you have it. And I won't be surprised if within the next few days, suddenly Pahlavi will be invited to the White House finally, shake hands, say pictures, and all of that starts. I won't be surprised. I was very disappointed when we had a Al-Qaeda leader with $10 million bounty on his head invited to White House, but not Prince. He is the crown prince. He was never decrowned. His father was never dethroned. But we rejected him. And that is where the shift comes from. One, I do believe that Bibi, and Bibi knows. That's why Iranians are asking Bibi for help. Netanyahu knows if he helps Pahlavi back in power in Iran, his job becomes easy to protect his own people. Because automatically half of these problems are solved without the mullahs funding Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas.
Yes.
So that's Bibi understand, and people of Iran understand that Bibi understand. So he's at a point where it's like, sorry, Trump, we're buddies and all that. And then on the other hand, the possible candidate to become the next leader of Iran is already publicly sending love letters to other leaders of other countries. Oh, we can't be left out of that now, can we? You say peace and prosperity. We got to be the leader of that. That's why this morning when I saw it, I didn't address it. I didn't post it. I took it with the greatest, how do you say it in English?
Grain of salt.
Grain of salt. I was like, well, I know where he's going. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. But I pray that he doesn't. No military action should be taken from United States of America toward Iran today or at any point of this uprising. That is a terrible mistake, and I hope he does not do it to win the peace prize. I'll get you. You got your peace prize. FIFA made one up and gave it to you. Can we not do military action in the Middle East anymore, including Iran? Okay, I'll stop talking now.
But what about like taking out the helicopters or something? Like if it gets to, that starts happening. I mean, maybe the Israelis are more likely to do it, and then I think the U.S. to do something small to be part of it at the end of it if it goes well. But I mean, if we reach some pinnacle where it looks like the regime's about to fall, and then you have helicopters mowing people down, would they really be upset if the Americans came in and shot that down or bombed some sites to finish the job?
Well, here's the thing. I don't believe for a second we get there. And let me tell you why. We already have received, we have not published them for their safety. But I personally have received, confirmed, and spoken to the person on the video. I have three Air Force generals who have sent videos of joining the people. Separate IRGC from military. Iran's military and Prince Pahlavi released a video 2 days ago asking for military to join the people. Yeah. And they are. So we're not going to get to that point. The maximum fight is going to be on the ground between IRGC, possibly military, and the people against them. When we get there, I want to be very clear. This isn't happening next week, people. Buckle up. I bought a lot of coffee and a very comfortable hug pillow because it's going to be a long process. This is not the one that's going to overthrow the regime, and that's why we need to stay out of it. This needs to go on its own pace by the plan of those who are trying to do it the right way. But if it does come to that point, yeah, sure, we got our troops in Syria fighting for al-Sharaa. Why not? We can have them go over and help people of Iran for 10 minutes and come back.
Yeah, an actual worthy cause. But yeah. Well, and just draw one other quick item here. Like, wasn't during the Masa Amini protests when that started? Didn't the Air Force and several other branches side with the people, or at the very least stand down?
We still have the video of you doing the voiceover for some of those generals. Yes, sir. Yes, they did. And that's the thing. People, even if you watch some of the videos, Ryan, you'll see some of the police, not IRGC or morality, actual Iranian police. You see them standing next to people and just whispering, like, go back that a street. Over there is empty. Already on the ground, the police, not the Islamic police, the country police, they're already helping people. They're already there. A lot of them are pretending to run away from the crowd. Though crowd doesn't have guns, but they're pretending to be scared and running away. That thing, one of the things I do, I don't just watch these videos and verify and translate. I'm putting, as you said, I'm putting patterns together. You already see that a lot of them have come to realize it's my end. I might as well join the people, especially because Reza Pahlavi did put out also, well, his mother did it with approval of the son. Our queen put out a video saying, I am asking even the IRGC members, put down your guns. And when the regime is changed, we will show mercy to those who did. And then ask people of Iran that if they do put down their guns, don't beat them up, don't kill them, don't harm them. Take their weapons and let them go. That narrative is already on the streets. They're already given warnings. Join the people. Any kind of, if you're military, police, besiege, morality police, IRGs, join the people or pay the price, or join the people and be rewarded. And they're telling people, now, you'll see 2 of the plainclothes people were caught, but then people released them. They took their weapon and their shield, released them.
That's awesome.
Badge, sorry, not shield, badge.
It's an interesting, because in 2009, I mean, there were more people there involved, so it would get more violent. But I remember a couple specific incidents where the police did shoot, at least at the besiege, after they fired first, though, into the crowd. But I also remember some of them being arrested, and then kind of having the crap beat out of them, and which, as much as I sympathize with wanting to do that, this more sophisticated, merciful approach, from even a social science standpoint for an uprising, is much smarter, and it's very admirable.
Yeah,
and that's why it's so. At least, I mean, Michael remembers 2022. I was a mess every time I tried to get on air. This time, I think I even have a little bit of a smile if you stare into my eyes.
It does feel very different this time.
When you watch it, you know, a release comes out from Reza Pahlavi's office, and you see the shift on the streets in Iran. Next release comes out, you see he's releasing 1 video a day with 1 call to action. That's all. And that's the leader we're looking for. He's not trying to make it all about him and I'm telling you what to do and let's go. 1 video, he releases every night, our time, which is early morning of Iran, with a new call to action. And you see the shift on the streets the morning, on and on. That is trust. People have put their trust in his hand. And some of his advisors, I know 2 of them, good luck to the regime. These 2 advisors, seriously, good luck to the mullahs, because these 2 they're brilliant and they know the regime inside and out. But the people are listening, and that's beautiful. This time, people are like, okay, you're going to lead us to victory. We'll follow you. Let's go. That's where I'm like, don't worry about the crowd. And yes, more people are going to be killed, unfortunately, because Khamenei is going to get to the point where he's going to give the same order he did in Green Movement and Masa Amini's movement. He's going to say shoot to kill. It's going to happen. And I pray that President Trump does not go in there and do what he claimed he wants to do. First of all, legally, we don't have any grounds to send our troops in Iran because the regime is killing its people. Like, that's kind of a stretch. Israel does. That's the thing. Once in a while, we should let someone else take the credit, especially if they make the sacrifice. and be their cheerleaders on the sideline. This is that time. America needs to be a cheerleader. And again, unfortunately, majority of Iranians don't trust America today.
Yeah.
Not that I can blame them, but they don't trust America. So if we try to go in, it could shift certain balances, but they do trust Israel today. So let Israel go in and help them.
And to your point, we can still sit on the sidelines, provide intel, provide data to the Israelis, which then filter out to the people on the ground there. That'll make a huge impact, and we can do that from the sidelines.
And let's prep Pahlavi. Let's prep Pahlavi. He's next door to White House. He's in D.C. Yeah. Let's just prep him.
Yeah, well, we do need to take a quick break here from our sponsors, and then we're going to be right back, and I'm going to bring up some of the victims that have already fallen in this struggle. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Well, hello, everybody. It's Annie Cyrus. Welcome to my art studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you got to do is go to lutfstudio.com. But I'm sure, for at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com.
All right. Thank you for staying with us. And again, the best way to support our program and all the great programs here on X American News is by supporting our sponsors. And right now, if you go to lutfstudio.com, use code INSURRECTION, you'll get an additional 10% off, and you'll be able to support all the great work that Annie does, both producing shows here, and her own content. You guys really need to go follow her Substack too. It's liveuptofreedom.substack.com. You want to get breaking information like this before it hits the mainstream media or the conservative media. You can find it right there. She's very attuned to exactly what's going on. And when you visit the lutfstudio.com, if you see an item there that you really like, but it just doesn't match your leopard print couch, you can message her directly, and she'll get back to you with how long it's going to take to build that custom item, what the pricing will be, and approximately when you'll get it. Anything you want to add on there since we've got you here live today?
Well, appreciate it. Yes. Just for your audience, I don't actually get paid to do what I do. It's all supported by you, either through my Substack by becoming a paid subscriber, liveuptofreedom.substack.com, or purchasing my art pieces at lutfstudio.com. Those are the ways I pay the bill while doing this.
That's right. None of us have wealthy benefactors.
People know the Substack is very affordable. It's not. It won't be hard for you to subscribe for a year like I did yesterday. So like if you're gonna go around and talk to your friends about how much you care about this issue, but you're not willing to do something like that, that's also going to make you sound smarter to them. So you have a selfish motivation as well. Then don't be full of it. Like it drives me crazy when people claim to be part of causes and then they either only give to the extent that they're comfortable. Like if it makes you a little uncomfortable, that's the right amount you should be giving and supporting. Otherwise you're you're just giving away the stuff you don't care about. Just
exactly.
Hurt a little bit. The Iranian people are hurting. If you actually care about their cause, then help them to a degree that gives you just at least a little bit discomfort.
Yeah.
I would also say, first of all, yes, thank you for supporting me on my Substack where I am. But, I always tell people, I said, this isn't about me making money or not. This is about the fact that my light just died.
She definitely needs a new light.
Because you didn't have enough subscribers.
Right?
Exactly.
I cannot believe my light died. So we're going to have to carry on without me being seen, which is okay. You can hear me, right? Because my computer hasn't died yet. Cool. It does, right? It's like, if I get a little closer, there you go. That's better. Okay. Anyways, this is about the fact that, believe me, though I am an Iranian American, just do your own research, do your own homework. A free Iran from the mullahs, it's going to affect all of us.
Yeah, that's the point I keep making. Is either you want to just look at it for selfish reasons. Iran essentially acts as the clearinghouse or the bank for terrorists all over the globe. They're the ones funding most of these movements, even ones that appear to be opposed to each other. That at the end of the day, taking out the Iranian regime, the Ayatollahs, whatever you want to call them, that is going to greatly benefit peace here and around the world. So this is a worthy cause, unlike some of these other endeavors. Going to war in the Middle East, the wars for oil, or whatever else people characterize them as. This is a worthy endeavor, unlike a lot of these other conflicts that we've been involved in previously. And I do want to real quick, because we are almost out of time, is bring up some of the victims and get your input on this. Like these are the three most recent people that were murdered by the regime. Is that correct?
Yes. Okay. So let me quickly say, first of all, the middle picture, you can tell it's a young kid, and
Yeah.
this is where it matters. This is where it matters. I'm going to give a message to everybody out there who has spent money, time, energy on the street, screaming for the kids of Gaza who were a suicide vest. This kid deserves as much scream, time, and effort from you as the Gaza kid. That kid was shot point blank in Iran. Why? Because he understands he needs freedoms. Just like the quote unquote Gazan kids. Now, all three victims, killed are from the same area. That is the area that I mentioned earlier, that they burned down a central police department. In return, the police started opening fire, shooting, and these three were unfortunately shot dead, and none of them made it. There are 6 total dead as of right now, but those 3 were the first 3 to be killed. In Esna is the name of the town, and yeah, there you have it.
Yeah, I do want to give a hat tip out to Voice of America for actually doing something useful this time and putting this out so people can see it here in the U.S. Because again, it's not getting the attention it deserves. So the video I've got playing right now in the background, this is one of the videos that you sent me of the people being attacked by the Iranian regime, correct?
Yeah, that's the thing. The car just parked there. You see the police, which is a morality police, walks up and starts shooting at the car. You don't need to play it, but in Farsi, when you play the audio, the driver, who's the father, screams, "Stop shooting. I have my wife and kid in the car. Stop shooting." They're not part of the protest. They weren't out there doing anything. He's literally driving home, and the police just walked right up to his car, started shooting. Thankfully, none of them were hurt, because he was using rubber bullets. But imagine if it was live rounds. And again, that kid, that wife, this one, they're trying to arrest the whole family, the wife, the husband, and their little kid again. It's like 20 against 3. As the camera moves, you see there's the wife, there's the kid, there's the father. The father tries to grab the kid and run with the wife while he's being beat up by the security forces. They were arrested, unfortunately. They weren't able to get away. But this is what people are facing. And they're still maintaining momentum. That's the key part. I'm going to say this, and you already told me it's okay for me to say, and apparently because I don't have my light, I have more bravery right now, so I can say things maybe I wouldn't with my light. This is ridiculous. I can't believe my light died. But I have been posting like a maniac, as you know, and just my Facebook last night, as I was getting ready to crash for a couple hours, it was like 1.7 million traffic, which is awesome because people are seeing. But here's the problem. You look at some of the comment sections of my Facebook, people are literally, of course, first of all, I'm being attacked heavily by the, regime's goons, which I put a direct message to them. You don't silence me. Say whatever you want to say on private messages or on my Facebook page. I'm not scared of you. But then there's the other side. There are actual Americans who are coming to me, either telling me what people of Iran should do, or telling me that I should be an American and stop being Iranian. I pray you never have to leave your homeland. I do pray. You have no clue what it means when you have to cut your legs, leave your roots, and go find home elsewhere, and know that the survivor guilt will hunt you for the rest of your life. Stop telling us who are reporting on what is happening to our people. Stop telling us our actions are anti-America. I have fought for America in last decade more than combination of all of those who comment for me. I walk around with 12 bounties on my head in America, 7 of them issued from inside America. However, I cannot look the other way when my people have the chance to win over and over, and the American government has got in the way over and over. My truth telling has nothing to do with my love or hate for one place or the other. Get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well said. Well said. And we only got a couple of minutes left, but I want to get to this other tweet that you'd put up, Ryan. And this is why it's different. I know we've already covered most of these, but is there anything in here you want to get to and really highlight? Because I said a few minutes ago, to me, as an outside observer, I'm probably somebody that's a little more attuned to this than maybe your average person in the U.S. I pay a little bit more closer attention. But even to me, this feels very different this time than what we've seen previously.
Yeah, these are just a list of signs to look for. And because I was in a good mood because the Iranian regime was losing, I have this thing that I like to do where I'll make like a sophisticated analysis that's really long. And then to see if people are actually reading it, I'll put in something really stupid and then go back to doing serious stuff. So if you see a couple things that are out of place where I'm making a joke, that's why. That's how I entertain myself. And I cope with the horrible news that I read all day. But basically, things to look for. Things like the police dropping their uniforms, dropping their weapons in the street. Once you see that pattern, stuff with the minority, specifically not just the minority militia forces type rising up separately, but it being coordinated, because that's been difficult in the past. Look for that. Basically, it's just a list of things to where you can know they're succeeding, but now you're at a tipping point. So those are some things that you can look for. It's a little bit of a cheat sheet so that you can know whether to get increasingly confident and happy about the progress of the uprising.
Well, that's well said. And again, this is something we're all going to be keeping our eyes on. Unfortunately, we are out of time right now. So I'll go to Ryan first this time, then Annie. Any words of wisdom you'd like to leave our audience with? And how can they follow you, find you, and support all the great work that you're doing, Ryan?
For me, they can just go to ryanmorrow.com. That's where they can donate to my nonprofit organization that's doing all sorts of exciting stuff that we're launching this year that I talk about there. But again, keep in mind that there's people like Andy that are doing things that you don't know about, which is providing the stuff they do isn't just what you're seeing on this show. Like people like that are spending their days texting people like me and other people, giving them the information, giving them advice, and you're never going to hear about that. So like, make sure you support people like that, because it's not like you're donating to someone to tweet. Like they're spending most of their time distributing that to people who act on it.
Yes. Yeah, and Annie specifically, she's spending her time up overnight, and she can't even afford new light bulbs right now. She's stuck watching the screen overnight since they're almost 12 hours out of sync with, what is it, 9 hours back from us, or 10? I can't remember right now. 8.5. Okay, so I'm right in between the two. But she's up at night watching all this so she can report back and bring you guys the information. She's translating from multiple sources, verifying things, talking to people on the ground. This is not easy work to do, especially when it's an emotional struggle too. So again, Annie, I want to thank you for all the work you're doing. And any words of wisdom you want to leave the audience with here?
I appreciate that. Not sure if it's a word of wisdom, but I will have a call to action, a few of them. Pray for people of Iran.
Yes.
If you think there's nothing you can do, I promise you, your prayers are the best you can do for Iranian people. Pray for them. Be very careful what you share. If you share information about what's happening in Iran, be careful of your sources. Though everybody's doing their best, there are many sources who will insert old videos from old times and give you something to click on and get fired up about. Be very careful. I will promote myself. You can rest assured whatever you share from my platforms, it's confirmed, translated by myself, ran through different channels to make sure it is today's video and not 10 years ago. Because spreading overly exaggerated information can be just as harmful as not spreading the information. But do spread the information and at the end of the day, remember, whatever happens to Iran is directly affecting Middle East and from their Europe, from their America. So this isn't just about Iran and Iranian people. Though I would say on my American side, we do owe them righting a wrong. 79, Carter, CIA, revolution. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. So let's remember this is about us and them. So get involved. I mean, I'll follow what Ryan said. If you can invest, my Substack is simply $8 a month or $80 a year. That $80 helped me do more than you would think. I have had people saying that's nothing. Yeah, but 100 of you putting that $80 in, I can get light bulb apparently and do my live shows without being in pitch dark. But joke aside, I appreciate those of you who are supporting Ryan. I really greatly appreciate, I said it on the text, I appreciate you being one of the good guys. And by that, I mean not seeking click while people are suffering, seeking the truth and trying to help us through spreading the truth, level-headed, balanced information, not picking a side based on who's from where. That means more to all of us Iranians, right? And you think, and of course, Michael, you're my buddy. You've been always there for me and for my people, and I appreciate you.
Well, anything we can do to help. And again, Ryan, I guess we're going to have to get to the Turtle Island Intifada next time. We'll have to have you back on. Sure. And I'm sure on Monday, we're going to have even more updates with all the Somalian fraud. That's another story. It's just getting nuts here in Ohio with them uncovering even more. But we're out of time, guys. Again, thank you for joining us. Everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Please support the people out there doing the work, bringing you the stories the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear. And to our audience, please like, share, and subscribe. Help us to grow so we can bring you those stories.